Hey y'all, it's your girl Binky Bianca back with some more 3G's news. And today we're going to be talking about Drizzy Drake. So, news just broke about an hour ago that Drake is suing UMG and Spotify because he's saying that they artificially inflated Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Okay. So, I found an article on Billboard.com that went into this. Okay. It says in a legal petition, the Stars Company accuses UMG of serious wrongdoing, a stunning twist months after his high profile feud with Kendrick. Drake has initiated legal action against Universal Music Group, UMG, and Spotify over allegations that the two companies conspired to artificially inflate the popularity of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. In a filing Monday, November 25th, in Manhattan Court, Drake's Frozen Moments LLC accuses UMG of launching an illegal scheme involving bots, payola, and other methods to pump up Lamar's song, a track that savagely attacked Drake amid an ongoing feud between the two stars. UMG did not rely on chance or even ordinary business practices, attorneys for Drake's company write. It instead launched a campaign to manipulate and saturate the streaming services and airwaves. Drake's attorneys accused UMG of violating the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, the federal RICO statute, often used in criminal cases against organized crime. They also allege deceptive business practices and false advertising under New York state law. The court filings are a remarkable twist in the high-profile beef between the two stars, which saw Drake and Lamar exchange stinging diss tracks over a period of months earlier this year. That such a dispute would spill into business litigation seemed almost unthinkable in the world of hip-hop. It also represents a stunning rift between Drake and UMG, where the star has spent his entire career. First through signing a deal with Lil Wayne's Young Money imprint, which was distributed by Republic Records, then by signing directly to Republic. Lamar, meanwhile, has also spent his entire career associated with UMG, first through the TDE imprint, which was distributed by Interscope, and more recently through his own company, PG Lang, which he licenses through Interscope. In technical terms, Monday's filing is not yet a full lawsuit, but a so-called pre-action petition, a procedure under New York law that aims to secure information before filing a lawsuit. Parties named in such petitions will not necessarily be targeted in the eventual lawsuit, and the allegations in Monday's filing seem more squarely aimed at UMG than Spotify. Spotify declined to comment on the allegations when reached by Billboard. UMG did not immediately return a request for comment. Drake's attorneys claimed that UMG carried out its scheme in a variety of ways, including by charging Spotify vastly reduced licensing rates in exchange for the streamer recommending the song to users who had searched for unrelated songs and artists. They also claim UMG paid influencers to boost the song on social media and also hired armies of bots to fraudulently spike the numbers. UMG conspired with and paid currently unknown parties to use bots to artificially inflate the spread of Not Like Us and deceive consumers into believing the song was more popular than it was in reality, Drake's lawyers write. In one particularly eye-catching claim, the petition claims that UMG paid Apple to have its voice assistant feature, Siri, purposely misdirect users to Kendrick's song. Online sources reported that when users asked Siri to play the album Certified Lover Boy by Drake, Siri instead played Not Like Us, which contains the lyric Certified PDF file, an allegation against Drake, the rapper's lawyers write. Apple is not named as a respondent in the petition nor accused of any legal wrongdoing. A spokesperson for the company did not immediately return a request for comment. Why would UMG choose to aggressively boost Lamar's song? Drake's lawyers say it was partially because of the internal corporate dynamics at UMG and Interscope, where financial incentives for executives are largely based on the specific UMG division rather than the performance of UMG more generally. UMG's schemes were motivated, at least in part, by the desire of executives at Interscope to maximize their own profits, Drake's attorneys write. Executives at Interscope have been incentivized to maximize the financial success of Interscope through the promotion of Not Like Us and its revitalizing impact on the artist's prior recording catalog. Drake's attorneys say he raised the issue with UMG before heading to court, but that the music giant has no interest in taking responsibility for its misconduct. To the contrary, he claims UMG has actively tried to conceal its wrongdoing, including by firing staffers perceived as having loyalty to Drake. Drake has repeatedly sought to engage UMG in discussions to resolve the ongoing harm he has suffered as a result of UMG's actions, the petition reads. UMG refused to engage in negotiations and insisted that UMG is not responsible for its own actions. Instead, Drake says UMG has pointed the finger at Lamar and insisted that Drake should sue his rival rather than the label. He also claims that UMG told him that the label would sue Lamar if Drake ended up filing his own lawsuit. Alrighty. So, Drake. That was interesting. That was an interesting read. Listen, what I'm gathering from that is Drake is trying to tell us that he does not believe that Not Like Us is an organic hit. And I'm trying to figure out, is he trying to tell us that because he knows something about the industry? Have his numbers been cooked before? And does he know how they get down with certain things that they do? I don't know, because I've been off Drake's music for a long time. I was a big fan of Drake for a very long time, but probably like the last maybe like 4 years or so, it's not really been my thing. I still play him a lot though. In the playlist that I've made and I've added him to, I play his music all the time, like older stuff. But it's not really hitting like that for me. But when he had like the Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? I didn't see the big deal about that song, but social media was eating it up. People did dance challenges to it. People, but I guess what? Because it was Drake, everybody just took it as face value and he wasn't battling anybody and it was okay for that to be a viral song, right? But I didn't like that song. And like, I didn't hate on the song and I didn't go around saying to other people, like, there's no way you really like the song. I just accepted that maybe he's just not for me anymore. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I'm wondering, like, Drake, are you trying to expose something about the industry here? Are you like, hey, if I'm going down, y'all done embarrass me and, I'm not that guy anymore, so I'm gonna take all y'all down with me? Like, is that what you're doing? Or do you really believe that Not Like Us was a hit like that? Because I'll tell you, I was hearing Not Like Us in the cars that go by like my apartment, like by the balcony. I would hear it at the bar if I would go and eat. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I myself was playing it a minimum of 4 times a day at one point because it was just an infectious song. I really enjoyed the song. Now, when he says that, you would ask Siri to play Certified Lover Boy and she would play Not Like Us, but he's not suing Apple. Why did you even bring that up then? I mean, Siri is Apple's AI assistant. So if that is something legit, why would you not sue them? I just don't understand. Like, you're focusing just on Spotify and your own record label that, Kendrick happens to also be under, UMG. There's a lot that is not understood by me. I'll be honest with this. Like, there's some questionable things within this. Drake, you also brought up the marketing and how they paid social influencers to do things. And I mean, listen, shout out to Academics. That's your boy. And, low key, that's my boy too, because I watch Academics and have for years. I've been a fan of Act for years. I like what he does and what he has brought to the game. He's brought in a lot of imitators trying to be like him. And, but he talks very openly about record labels and about marketing budgets, right? And he talks about getting money from labels to push and talk about artists, whether he likes them or not. And he did this a lot, like when he was going in on Glorilla because they were going back and forth because I guess he said something unfavorable about her or something that happened with them. He was going in on her like she was a man. But he definitely made sure to try to make her look and sound dumb when he talked about how labels spend money. Now, is it considered payola? I mean, if you're paying a platform to promote your album, I would not think so, but I don't know the ins and outs of the law. But then that means that any IG page that's big, like the Shade Room, or even, news channels or anything, they shouldn't be able to pay or be paid to talk about your project, if that's the case. But I feel like, Drake, that that's okay. So really your issue is bots. And I almost wonder, are there really bots though? Like, is this something that, because Drake low-key sounds like a stan to me right now. Like, if you've never encountered a stan, listen, I've been a stan before, so I know how logical we could be. But if you've ever encountered a stan, you know that they lead with emotion. They cannot and will not acknowledge anything wrong that the artist that they love does, and their favorite thing to do is lead with numbers. They want to argue about chart position, they want to argue about sales, they want to argue about streams. That's stan stuff. So it sounds like Drake left his group chat with his stans and went to the lawyer's office and decided to be a Karen. Because you're definitely being a Karen with this. You're suing because you lost. That's what it seems like. Now, I'm not saying that Drake's numbers are not valid or accurate. But again, I've definitely wondered over the years, how is it possible that the man is getting the sales and the numbers he's getting and this music is not good? Because a curiosity spin, there is not enough curiosity spins in the world to make these first week numbers. It just, to me, it wasn't making any sense. When you've been putting out lackluster product, lackluster music, the people are going to stop being curious at some point. And I feel like a lot of people stopped being curious about Drake a long time ago. Other than his stans, the GP has moved on, I feel like. I mean, the general public, okay, that's a GP. Like, they have we've moved on. Until you come out with like a dope single, no GP person is just gonna put on a Drake album just to hear it these days. That is not the world we live in anymore. And Drake has definitely shown himself to be unable to accept criticism. Nobody wants to be made fun of. Nobody wants to be picked on. Nobody wants to lose in front of the world. Nobody wants to go through that. So I'm not saying that him feeling a way about going through those experiences is abnormal or weird. It's not. He's human, and we all would have a problem, right, if we're being made fun of or called names or being dethroned and all these things. Definitely. But when you have people like Joe Budden criticizing you and saying this album lacks maturity, like, it's like you're talking about things I can't relate to anymore. Yes, Joe's older than Drake, so am I. But there was a time we were living kind of, similar lives and experiences, right? Because the ages weren't so different. Because the experience is like, yeah, you're hanging out, you clubbing, you meeting people, you vacationing, you meeting people, you having fun, or you going to the strip club, whatever it is. So you're experiencing those things, you get it. But at some point, you want an artist to grow and talk about something else. Hey, shoot, you're a father now. Like, you have other things going on. You're a businessman. You've been that. Now obviously you don't have to rap about business completely, but you're experiencing people in different ways. You could flip that, into different kinds of records. You could flip a lot of the things, but you choose not to, and you still rap like you're 20 something. And that gets old. And when you receive that criticism, you didn't know what to do with it. You lashed out. And there was a woman that was like an entertainment correspondent. I can't even remember her name, but you lashed out at her. And that's what Kendrick was referencing in one of the diss albums, when he was like, man, I'm watching you spiral. It's embarrassing, whatever he was saying. We're all watching that. And now you are suing. So we're going to see what's going to happen with this. But I'm not feeling it. And you are definitely showing us that you're not like us, honey. You are not like us. I don't give a damn. I don't care what nobody said. Drake is not like us. He is a Karen. And he cannot lose and just take his ball and go home. He's up to something. I don't know. I can only imagine he has some other play lined up. Something's happening, because if he had talked to anybody that cares for him or knows him, I would feel like they would have stopped him. Maybe not. So y'all let me know what you think. Am I being too hard on Drake? Am I being too hard on Drizzy? Does he deserve to file a lawsuit against his own label because it was some weirdness going on? Or should he just suck it up like everybody else has been doing while he's been winning for a long time and being kind of underhanded with certain things allegedly over the years? Let me know what you think. We'll definitely talk about this on the next episode of the 3Gs, which will be taping this Wednesday live at 8 p.m. Central Time with AP, Pac G, and Black GMS. Later.